let's talk about Hunter Biden, who you're going to be shocked that the White House appears to have broken a promise to us on his art, on his artwork. And you're also going to be shocked to learn that some people want to spend between $75,000, they say maybe up to $1 million on Hunter Biden's artwork. I will say as an aside, given Hunter Biden's past, like the art world seems like a decent place for him to land. You know, all that weirdness, it's like that kind of helps you in the art world, right? Like nobody holds that against you.
A lot of people have been to prison and then were famous artists, so that's good.
Right? So it's like,
that being said, I don't think these people are shelling out for the art, Megyn.
Okay, what a shock.
They're not shelling out the $500K for the beautiful
So
artwork.
can you help the audience understand what's gone on here? He's doing the art, and he had a big art show last night at some muckety-muck gallery, and I recognized a bunch of the faces, and yet we were told by the White House something else was going to happen. We were told it's sort of going to be a blind sale of the Hunter Biden artwork where he wouldn't know who spent all the money on his beautiful art. And thus sort of the Chinese wall was in place to protect, the White House from doing favors for any of these purchasers. Is that basically the deal that we were promised?
The ethical myopia of the Trump administration was made correctly much sport of. People talked a lot about how people use the Trump Hotel and other ways, the big, beautiful golf courses of Doral and all that other stuff to try to influence Trump. These were fair and correct criticisms, and Donald Trump never did the right thing ethically as president.
That got wall-to-wall mainstream media coverage.
What Hunter Biden is doing and what is happening now is an ethical quagmire, should be an emoluments clause discussion, should be all of this stuff. How possibly could you defend? I think back to George H.W. Bush wrote a letter to his sons when he was running for president. And he said, you know what? Life is hard, and you're going to have to forego a lot of things that you might otherwise be able to get because I'm running for president, but you're going to have to forego them. And you're going to have to do the right stuff because if you want to be in public life, there are sacrifices you have to make. This is gross. This is inappropriate. This is ethically and morally just a disaster. And the fact that they're not being called on it is why we should have a podcast called Stained Wretches where we talk about what's wrong with the media.
I tell you, I have another example for you. This is several years ago. Kate Middleton got in trouble because she decided to sunbathe topless out on some balcony where she thought she was, in private, but
Hit me
she
up
got
on
caught.
Insta.
One of the two of us is very eager to see those images.
By the paparazzi. And, somebody was asking me if I felt sorry for her. And I said, no, I do not feel sorry for her because you have to make some sacrifices if you're going to be the next Queen of England. And that's just the way life works. Same thing, the message
and
from
you're
HW.
Gorgeous and men want to see you topless. I feel so sorry for you.
You know what? You're married to, the good brother. So you got nothing to complain about. And that's the position, I guess, Hunter Biden finds himself in which, trying to earn money off of potential donors to his dad's next campaign can cause headaches for himself and, well, really more accurately for his dad. So Jen Psaki was asked about this obvious conflict and problem by a bunch of reporters, actually, at the White House press corps, and here's how that went.
What is the White House's response to the fact that an ambassador nominee was at this event? And secondly, should we expect to see more people who seek jobs in this administration attending events like this in the future?
Well, to be clear, we've spoken to the arrangement that is run by the gallerist and Hunter Biden's representatives that the White House provided suggestions for. I'd refer you to the gallerist for questions.
This is exactly what ethicists said they were worried about.
What is specifically?
The fact that the president's
that he
son
reportedly attended an event.
So does this White House not have any concerns about the photos that have emerged showing Hunter Biden at that gallery alongside prospective buyers?
I point you to the gallerist on specifics of the restrictions that were put in place.
Right, but what about the position of this White House? This is a president who ran on being transparent, and you've got...
And we were very transparent about what recommendations were made to the gallerist, and I would again point to them or the many times I've spoken about that from here.
She's going to circle back.
The gallerist.
We didn't realize when the White House made this announcement that it was just providing soft recommendations that the gallerist was free the gallerist was free to adhere to or toss in the wastebasket.
But they point out something important there about LA Mayor Garcetti, who's our nominee to be ambassador to India, and surprisingly, he was there just because he loves art. He's a big fan of weird big flowers.
Best. It was a toss-up between Rembrandt and Hunter Biden.
Yeah, we have hundreds of thousands of dollars being funneled to the son of a sitting U.S. president. presumably by people who would like to curry favor with this president and are using Hunter Biden's art as a means to do that.
Do you know where in Washington, D.C., MK, do you remember where the National Gallery of Art is that backs up on Pennsylvania Avenue?
I have no culture in my life, so no, I never went there, and I'm not familiar.
Do you remember where the museum was? Do you remember where the Capitol Grill is?
Yes, the Capitol Grill I know.
Now we're talking about
now we're talking
Now
about
you're
what
back in
people
my
know.
world.
So on that location is where President James A. Garfield was assassinated. He was murdered. That was the former site of the B&O Railroad terminal before they built Union Station. The person who killed James A. Garfield.
Wake me up when this is over.
Oh, now, okay. Now you're getting a good taste of what the podcast actually sounds like. But James A. Garfield was killed by a deranged office seeker who wanted favors from the federal government. And James Garfield was a reformer and said, we're not going to do as much of this crummy patronage stuff and all of this other stuff. And this man, Charles Guiteau, shot him right there in that spot. Giving away free stuff, the power to have influence, the power to make money, the power to do all this stuff for privilege and influence people is not new. This is not a new problem. And everyone will always act morally obtuse about it. The Trump kids did. The Biden people are. We should call all of them on it all of the time, because what it adds up to is a theft of their responsibility. They're stealing from us, even if it's not in money. They're stealing from us what they owe us, which is to put the interest of the country ahead of everything else, and not even by a close margin.